Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video and this live stream. I am here with Inti. Say hi, Inti.
Hello, everyone.
And he's going to be checking the chat room for questions that are going to be answered later on in this video stream. I've been looking at the chat group, and you know what? I honestly have to ask the question before I talk about what we're doing today. Um, is there a reason why people cannot spell my name? I'm like T Mac. I'm not trying to pick on you or anything like that, but I just responded to somebody, and Davinci J15 is the name of my channel, and so you could have just typed in exactly what was written of my name, and that would have been right, right? Davinci. That's how you spell Da Vinci. Uh, is there like I just would like to have an explanation as to why that you couldn't get my name correct, spelled correctly. I mean, it's not like I'm not trying to say that you're. I'm not trying to. I just want to understand. Basically, I'm not trying to say anything. I just want to understand. All right, why? So that maybe we can help people get learn how to spell my name correctly. If we learn why. All right. So with that said, right, this show today, right, is about one person's comment on my channel. We're gonna get to the technical analysis after this on Bitcoin, but we're gonna talk about what's the point about Bitcoin, basically. And as you can see, Novinov, he's asking this question, and it is a valid question for people in North America. What's the point of Bitcoin when we have cash apps and debit cards and credit cards and Venmo and blah 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 blah? What's the point, right? And that is a valid question, right? For most people in North America, there's virtually no point to using Bitcoin on a day-to-day basis because, well, you can use all those different things to purchase things. But so what's the advantage? Why is there so much hype around Bitcoin as a new system? Well, that's the real question you want to ask. And so the hype is, so for example, if I were to take out what you would do, right, if you were to buy something in the physical world, right, you could take out this paper money, right? It doesn't matter what it is, whatever the country you're from. You take this paper money, right, and it's yours, right? It's basically in your possession, and unless somebody comes to you with a gun or tells you to give it to them, they really can't take it from you, right? So that's the only way. They have to take it by force, basically, right? And with these other methods that he's mentioned there, a CEO or government could go, yeah, you know what? All that money you have there in those apps and stuff like that, and the banks, that's now ours now. And there's absolutely nothing you can do because once you give it to another company, it's not yours. And so that's the difference, right, between using those apps and using cash, right? But cash doesn't exist. You can't use cash on the internet. Can I give anybody in my chat room this bill? No, I can't. But I can give everybody in this chat room, anybody in this chat room, the first person to post a QR code, I mean, not QR code, a Bitcoin address, I'm going to send a small $20 worth of Bitcoins. Just like that. I could send them $20. So post an address, and I will copy it, and later at the end of the stream, I'll send you $20, the first person to do that. So, yeah. And look at that. That's only possible through Bitcoins. There's no other way to send a cash transaction. So, for example, the Bitcoins are effectively mine. they exist on my phone, yes, but they're mine. Unless somebody comes to me, points a gun at me, and says, "Give me those bitcoins," they're mine. There's no government. There is no entity that can press a button and say, "Hey, you know what? All that those bitcoins are now mine." There's no way for that. Yeah, thank you, body, for your. You're the one that's going to get that $20 worth of bitcoins now. So yeah, he's going to get $20, right? And there's no way that anybody can take those bitcoins from me. I'm going to send it to him, and he will have actual value that he can go and spend somewhere else. Now, that's the point of bitcoins. Now, what's with the super hype of it is maybe the next question you might have, right? Um, and that's a good question too, because a lot of people don't understand that how our monetary system works, and then we're going to get into a little bit more complicated things here. Basically, our monetary system transfers wealth from the poor and the middle class to the rich, and it does that through inflation. So, for example, when you hear about banker bailouts, when you hear about governments going to major debt, that's all of the cause that is through the printing of money. So money comes into existence when you go into debt. Now we can talk about all the complexities of how that works, but that's not important. Our current system basically steals wealth from the poor and the middle class when the rich gets to print the money and gets to keep it, get it for free, or next to free, close to free, and so basically making you a slave. And what makes it worse is that as a slave, you're taking this money thinking it's got real value, just these paper notes. You're thinking it has real value, and you store these paper notes, believing in the value of them. And so when you store these paper notes, basically you're transferring your work and effort into the note. And you're hoping that this note will maintain its value, meaning that prices will not go up. Well, as you know, as everybody knows, prices only go up. They over time, over years, over right, or even weeks in some cases. In a hyperinflationary event, it goes up, only goes up, up, up. Prices only go up, and so that means that you lose with this by storing your work effort in this paper note. You lose wealth. You lose wealth, and so but it didn't just evaporate, right? Wealth is never destroyed. It's only transferred. And where did it transfer to? It transferred to the rich, because when they printed more money, they stole your wealth from this paper note that you stored in. And so if you want to prevent that, now we need a new type of monetary system. Before we used gold, because you know what, you can't print gold. You have to work for it. You have to create it, and then we trade with gold because you know what, you can divide it into smaller pieces and so forth. It's just a little bit heavy, so it makes it sense. So we switched to paper, saying okay, well every paper note is backed up by an actual gold. And then eventually we took that gold away, and now the paper is not backed up by gold, and you can just create as much as you want, and they do, and that's the problem. And so that's why going forward, so that's why we have so much excitement about bitcoins, because now we have a monetary system which requires work, just like gold does, right? Where you have to dig it out of the ground, and you have to spend a lot of effort and work and money and to create it, and then that's stored in that value of basically creating the gold is stored inside that ounce of gold, and you can use that. But the same applies with a Bitcoin. Takes a lot of energy and power and knowledge and equipment in order to create a Bitcoin, and so that's where that value gets stored inside that Bitcoin. And basically other people's desire to hold the Bitcoin is also stores its value. And because there's a limited supply, meaning that nobody can print more than there ever than the 21 million that could, well, it's less than 21 million, but and then people who lose bitcoins also reduce the supply, circulating supply of bitcoins. So that means you have a monetary unit that you can use that will only go up in price. And why is that great? Why is that important? Well, because if you're if our current system steals from the poor and the middle class through inflation, through printing of money, it makes sense, right, to have a system that um, that actually transfers wealth from the rich to the poor and the middle class, because now you can own a Bitcoin and you can see the price of the value go up. And because the rich only use debt, if they attempt to use debt in order to increase their wealth, um, what will happen is that they will end up defaulting, because now um, with bitcoins they can't the value was only going up and they can't print anymore to pay off their debts. And so effectively wealth is being transferred to the poor and the middle class with Bitcoin. So we actually create the opposite effect. Now the rich has to produce something of value, of higher value, in order to gain that Bitcoin from you. And if they don't, well, it will continue rising in value until they do. And then they will have to produce something better every single time. And this makes much more sense than to have the rich being a slave to you than you being a slave to the rich. That's just me. But if you disagree, you're probably rich. Anyways, let's get on to some technical analysis. Today, Bitcoin has not been doing anything. Like, I mean, it's been stuck in a range right now. We are sitting above the what's it called, the 61.8, which is the some people call it the golden pocket, some people call it reload zone, some people call it a trade location. But I'm going to call this the reload zone because that's what I learned. And basically, the reload zone is where the price comes down to, and you reload and you load up on buying or selling. So, for example, up here was the reload zone for selling, and down here was the reload zone for buying. And so this is the accumulation area where between the 61.8 and the 78.6 is the accumulation area. And you could see that somebody said no, 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 and bought up Bitcoin at all these at this level here, and they thought, okay, well, you know what, Bitcoin's really cheap, and they were buying, and then when they started buying, in mass, causing the price to go up. So let me just zoom in here. Let's see, auto scale. Right, and so is Bitcoin going to break down even further? Right. Well, that all depends on the buyers that held the price down, held the price up here, and right now we can go either way. The Bollinger Bands are squeezing, so that means we are going to see some serious price action sometime in the future. And let's just see. This is the weekly. Let's just go down to the daily and see if the daily has squeezed. Okay, so it's not switching. So I'm just going to switch to my Bybit. And you can see that the Bollinger Band has squeezed a little bit. It's not. This is the daily here, and we are in the positive territory for an upward movement on the daily. Looks good on the daily, but everything else probably does not look so good. Yes, the 4 hour was did close negative, but it gapped up. Is that a gap up? Let's just see here. I don't think so. Let's just move that away from the VPR. Let's hide the VPVR. Nope, it closed negative, and then so that means it's below the 13 EMA, which is where what I consider like a bearish area if it's below the 13 EMA, and bullish if it's above the 13 EMA. And right now the 4-hour is below the 13 EMA. And so if you were a trader, you should look for shorts. But there's only scalp trades right now when it comes to the price action in Bitcoin right now. Scalp trades are probably not something that anybody here should do. So I'm not going to show you a scalp trade today. Basically, we're in a no trade zone for swing traders. And hey, Chris from MM Crypto, thank you very much for that the 11 euros, right? I think I'll go and grab myself some McDonald's today. No, but seriously, thank you anyways. It's appreciated. So yeah, I really think that we should wait until Bitcoin decides on the direction. And the way we can decide, we know that the Bitcoin's going to decide on which direction it wants to go, is it breaks this out of this range here. So it's got to break above the 70, like 7,900 basically, and then it's got to break below the 6,500 level. Massive minus. Oh, Jesus! I'm thinking in Spanish. My God. Like, I can't believe this. Anyways, my words were trying to come out in English, and it was not, it was trying to come out in Spanish, and I'm like realizing that, and I'm like trying to force out the English. That's kind of weird. Anyways, so yeah, give or take a few. My Spanish was trying to come out. Give or take a few cents. Bitcoin it just needs to get around 65, below 6,500. To say that, hey, we're going lower, and that's it. Because if we test this bottom level too many times, we're breaking it. If we test the top level too many times, we're breaking that. But notice how we haven't really tested the top level that much. So I would suggest, if you wanted to take a low risk trade, if we come up to this area, I would suggest you take a short off of that area, and just only lose like a small percentage should it break this level. So I would suggest maybe we do this. We look for the 78.6, and look, we have like a lot of already touch points here in the 78.6 level here, where, hey, you know what, you could have taken a trade, a stop loss up here, and walked if Bitcoin breaks out of this level, which is having a real serious time trying to do that. So right now, if you want to do that, that would be the best trade, I think, because the trend is your friend until the end. And so that trade's already gone, probably. I don't know, but you know what? I would not try to jump in on any other trade other than that. Looks like we're having a little bit of an emming out period here on the daily. Just remember, they like to do FU moves. So if you want to set up a stink bid, maybe up in here, just below the 78.6, that's fine. Maybe stop loss yourself at this level here, which is the 76.92 level. That's fine as well. Just remember, always set your stops on wherever you want to do your trade. So make sure you have stops. I noticed a lot of YouTube channels don't provide you with stop information. So let's just say Bitcoin does a crazy Darth Maul wake up here. You could probably catch it and then say, hey, you know what, I'm going to stop loss up here. It's probably the safest thing and the most, you know what, that's trading from a position of strength, basically. And you can see that, you know what, that's a nice ratio right there. Percentage rate, only like 3%. So you can always, I've already did some videos on showing you how to do the math so that you only lose like $50. You could always just set it so that you only lose $50 on this trade. And it doesn't matter how much money you've got. Well, I mean, you will need a little bit more than a couple of $1,000, but basically, yeah, you can set it so that you can only use $50 and trade this down to get a even a 3 to 1 down here, right? You don't even have to wait until the breakout to take some profits, and then you could always just take half off the table here, and and basically ride the rest out and see what happens, and then move the your stop to the halfway mark as well in order to make some more money off of this particular trade. So that's what I would suggest anybody do if they wanted to take a trade, is to wait until the market gives them a nice position of strength. And I would not take a short here because there's nothing here. And that's where I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards a price action moving down. Can it break up and break higher? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. But you know what? If you were to ask me percentage wise which way it's going, I would say we have like a 70% chance we're going down. There's still that 30% that we could break out, and you know what? That'd be great, right? Of course, but because for a hold position, but as a trader, right? Traders got to trade, so this is the trade that I would probably take. I would love to. I would actually wait for the 78.6. Personally, I'm not gonna. I would not take anything other than the 78.6 and just leave it at that. But that's part of my trading plan, and that's how I trade. So, anyways, with that said, let's go on to our question and answer periods of this stream. Inti, what do you got for us?
Okay, buddy. So, from Richie C. Do you believe Tether was a big culprit in 2017 bull run? Do you believe we can surpass all-time high without any type of manipulation?
Okay. Yes. I personally believe that Tether had something to do with the 2017 bull run, a little bit, but also the media, of course, and all that is manipulation, basically. And there's always going to be manipulation because manipulation exists in all markets. You can't stop it. If you buy Bitcoins and then tell somebody to buy it because it's going higher, you are manipulating the price. So manipulation exists always and everywhere. It's just the quantity of manipulation you want to avoid. You don't want too much, of course, right? But there's always going to be somebody who wants to profit from that. And so that's why prices are going to go high. And the problem is, if we have a manipulated price high, nobody complains about prices being manipulated too high. I am going to complain right here, right now. If Bitcoin gets manipulated to $1 million in the next bull run, we are screwed. Well, not technically screwed meaning that Bitcoin will go to zero. It's just that Bitcoin will come back by 80% or more, and will not go up again for anywhere from 7 to 14 years. And so that would be bad, right? I mean, it'll go up slowly, but it will not do any kind of like major bull run after it goes to $1 million and then comes back down. So that's a bad set of manipulation right there, right? You don't want it to be manipulated to that kind of level, right? Of course, if it gets manipulated only to like $250,000-$350,000, that's fine, because it'll just come back and we'll do another another 4 years from that. We'll do another bull run, probably all the way up to the million, and then that's fine. But that would probably be the last somewhere in one of the last Well, we have to. You know what? I'm gonna wait and see before I call that if it's gonna be the last, because we have to see how much adoption occurs after the next bull run, and then decide whether or not this is the last. The next bull run is the last bull run, or there's going to be one more or two more from there. So, well, let's just wait and see. Anyways, next question.
Next question. This is from Crypto Coach. There is a theory that Bitcoin has to visit the all-time high before switching into a new bull run. According to this, capitulation phase might be around 1800. How high do you see a chance of this?
I don't see a very high chance of us going down to 1800. Is it possible? Yes, but it's unlikely. I think there's a lot of participants in the market, and then you have the miners who break even around anywhere between 3,000 and 6,000. So it's not likely. Um, Now, as for your other statement, right? Does Bitcoin have to wait until an all-time high to go higher? Here's the thing. There's a saying, show me a new high and I'll show you a buy. Brian taught me that one, and it's so true. As soon as Bitcoin makes a new high, that's a buy, and it's going a lot higher very fast. So every single time it's done that, it's created a new high. It's gone like parabolic. So you can always wait for that point as well to buy Bitcoins. But I wouldn't wait for those dips, because you don't know how far they're going to dip, and you don't know if you're going to be able to catch them. So yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. I'm looking forward to it when we do get to that new all-time high, because that is truly a high. All right, next question.
Next question. This is from Jeremy Sick, and ask, how derivatives and all these stuffs impact Bitcoin price and price after and before halving, as you think?
How do derivatives affect Bitcoin price? Well, they actually negatively affect Bitcoin price, because remember, when you use a derivative, basically you are speculating on what the price is going to do, but you're not participating in the price action. So, for example, if you're speculating the price of Bitcoin is going to go higher on a derivative, basically you are just betting that the price is going to go higher, and you're not actually going to affect the price going higher with your bet, because a person who buys the Bitcoin betting that the price is going to go higher affects the price, because they actually took Bitcoins off of the market. With derivatives, that's not happening. You're not taking Bitcoins out of the market. You are just speculating that what other people are going to do. And so there's a lot of money involved in that speculation. And so that money does not exist inside the Bitcoin universe, does not go into buying Bitcoins and moving the Bitcoins around and so forth. And so it takes a lot longer for price action to occur when people are just speculating against the price on a derivatives market. And it's sad. It sucks. But you know what? It doesn't matter. There will always be a derivatives market, because people just want to bet on the price and don't really care about the underlying asset, and they want to earn more dollars, and that's it. And that's just the way humans are, right? They want to just gamble and not be a part of this movement of cryptocurrencies. All right. So next question.
Next question. So this is from Richie C again, because I really like this question. What are your favorite indicators when doing technical analysis for Bitcoin?
Well, my favorite indicator is the Bollinger Bands, even though it doesn't give me direction. because it's basically saying, hey, you know what, markets state just gives me a general overview of the market state. So, for example, when the Bollinger Band tightens, and basically they're an average between the mean. You can see the Bollinger Bands here. If I hide all this, if I hide everything here, let me just do that and I'll show you where the Bollinger Bands are. Let me just um, refresh this and then get rid of that, and then we'll go over here, and then there's less stuff to hide that way. So I'm gonna 13 EMA. There we go. I'm gonna hide all that, and you can see there's an upper band and lower band, and then the middle point, which is a 20 period moving average. And this is a calculation that the market stays within inside the band 95% of the time, and only 5%. I think it was 98%, and I believe it was 98, and only 2% outside the band. And so you can see that the state is overbought when it's outside the band, especially when it closes outside the band and then it goes higher. Then you can see that maybe this, because that's what happened here. It closed outside the band and then it went higher. Then you could say that the market is way overextended. And you could probably look for a short, right? Here, somewhere here. But it's very difficult, right? Because the market can actually continue to go higher. So it's just that, that the market should come back into the band, at the very least, right? Even if the market does want to go higher. And so that's what I like about the Bollinger Bands. And you can see that a movement is about to occur. You can see on this 1 hour, as it squeezed, that a big move was about to occur, right? Which direction requires a different kind of tool. And that's why I like Bollinger Bands, because I know that something big is going to happen, and I need to start looking out, and then looking for a specific trade, right? And so it helps me time my trades, and that's why I like it. All right, one more question.
One more question. Hey, this is going to be a short one. I have to choose.
Come on.
All right. This is from Elliot Patterson. Hey, Davinci, what's your best advice for bouncing back from a loss?
What's the best advice for bouncing back from a loss? Well, one, I think you should first take some time to reflect on what you did wrong in your losses. So you have to step back, and then basically do some self-reflection, right? Figure out why you did this. How'd you lose this money, right? And then look at that and stare it right in the face and be honest about it, and then take steps on how to prevent yourself from doing the same thing all over again. And so that's a very difficult process, right? Because you have to admit admit to yourself that you're not perfect, that you have made a mistake, and you need to make adjustments. And making adjustments is very hard, because you have to go against your own personal instincts. And that's just the way it is, especially when it comes to trading. Everything about trading is the opposite of what you feel to do, basically. That's what the market is about. It's about stealing money from people who use their emotions to trade. And so that's what you have to know about the market, and avoid when you stepping into the market, and avoid actually trying to trade without learning how to trade on a daily basis. Everyone here who watches this video, pretty much everyone, not everyone, there are some professional traders or people who are learning how to trade and are just getting their feet wet. That's fine. If you're just getting your feet wet and learning, one you should do is either paper trade or make sure that your losses are so tiny that it doesn't really matter. Um, and that's how you should trade. Those are the only two ways you should trade if you're starting to learn how to trade. Um, but most of us here should just be dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and not looking at the charts on a day-to-day basis of what's going to happen. You should just be like close your eyes and just buy every week or every month and done, and that's it. All right. With that said, I'd like to close off the question and answering period and talk about Pandora's wallet. As you know, I'm still working on Pandora's wallet, and I have like a video here, which not a lot of people have seen. It's only gotten like 2,000, 3,000 views there. It shows you exactly how to use Pandora's wallet and so forth. So check it out. Its link is in the description below. You can head over to the website and purchase Pandora's wallet until the end of this month for a significant discount. We've discounted Pandora's wallet for the whole month. So please check it out, and if you're interested in buying, you could always you could try it out for 30 days free. But also, you know what, the discount is going to be closing off, and you know what, we will be changing this wallet so that you can actually trade directly with other people, like in local Bitcoins. So you'll be able to broadcast your trades to people who use Pandora's wallet and trade directly in between them exactly, without having to go to an exchange. And what inspired me to do that was Bittrex telling me to get lost basically, and I was like shocked. And so with that said, I decided, you know what, we have to have a decentralized exchange. Now, I can move this to decentralized, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and of course a lot of money. So if you guys can help out by purchasing a subscription, that would be greatly appreciated. And you know what, with decentralized exchanges, the governments, right, once we have a decentralized exchange, governments can't tell you what to do with your money and what to save with your money. So, for example, let's just say the government decides, hey, you know what, Bitcoins can't be accepted at the store. Only government coin can be accepted at the store. Well, with a decentralized exchange, you can just, as you walk into the store, just, okay, you know what, I'm going to pay you with government coin, but I'm going to use my Bitcoin and convert it directly into government coin. Well, you could say, well, the government's not going to accept coins that are through an exchange. Well, there's no way they can prevent that, and so that's because it's a decentralized exchange. So that's that, and they're still sending them government coins. So I mean, there's no way to tell, right? Especially since the coin can come straight through a decentralized exchange. Somebody could just send it directly to them for you, and to the business for you, and there's no way for the government to say, hey, well, you know what, that guy can't do that. So it's great. I like decentralization, and I think that's the future. Anyway, so please check out Pandora's wallet. This video is going to be popping up somewhere around here. It's going to be popping up right here, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.